Oi, oi! The seductive removal of the glasses has returned, as have I. I'm fresh back from Spain, took a week out with the boys. So while I did say there would be some Greyhound content coming up, we missed the first round of the Ground Derby. But I didn't want to get a VPN set up when I went away, so didn't want to be while I was out there. A rest is as good as anything else, right? So this isn't what this video is about. All my bets video for this is for Saturday. I've had 5 races at Epsom. I've had a go on each, £250 worth of bets in total, which will be showing up on screen. We'll talk through those. I will suggest you go and have a watch of the GG Weekend watch video. I'll put a link to that in the description, where you're going to get the full reasoning behind it, which means rather than having to listen to 20 minutes of waffling here, you can just listen to 5 to 10 minutes of that. I'll put a couple of links as well in there. I've done an Oaks trial, well, not trial, the Oaks race, sort of cheat sheet kind of for the trends for that race, so you can have a look at that as well. And then for the Derby, I did a similar thing. I'll put links for those in the description too, so if you want to give them a click, do that. If you don't, then don't. But, you know, link clicks are good. Anywho, what else is good is liking the video and making sure you're subscribed to the channel. Very important, especially this time of year. And then without further ado, I'll crack on with what my bets are for Saturday. There will be a video coming out tomorrow for Friday's bets and Saturday's bets for the Greyhounds. I'll do the card and get that out because I've got some probable bets I'll be having in there. And I know a few of you are interested, but the horse stuff comes first. So let's pull them up. I'll bring on the screen the stakes that I put out there. As I say, I'll give you a bit of reasoning because I think it's fair to do so. But go watch the GG Weekend watch video to get full reasoning there. Strong views, I feel, in a lot of races from myself. One less so, but Matty does have us covered in there. So let's see if the images are coming up in the right order. Well, we might as well just go straight in. £250 worth of total stakes have gone out. £100 worth of that is gone on Silky Wilkie in the dash. Dave, you're saying, what are you doing betting a 5 furlong handicap dash at Epsom? It's the fastest 5 furlong in the world. It's riddled with hard luck stories year after year, and Silky Wilkie was one of those last year. Now, look, he's £8 lower than he was in this race last year. He's £19 better off with another Middleton Park stud-owned horse, Clarendon House, who is heading the weights for this race and, in fact, putting a number of horses out of the handicap. I think it's actually horses 1 to 10 that are still in the handicap. So of the 15 runners that are left, right, as much as the Epsom Dash is always a nutty, crazy type race, I've never known there only be 15 runners. I think there was 16 in 2021. Other than that, it's been 17 plus. Normally it's 20 runners, right? Loads of hard luck stories, as I've touched on. But we've got 10 runners that are in the handicap, maybe 11, 4 or 5 that are out of the handicap. It's mad, right? This is not a normal renewal. And I think that, I mean, it's obvious, Silky Wilkie has been primed for this. Same prep runs as last year. Just looks, I mean, same prep runs. It's run similar sort of prep runs for this. First time cheap pieces are a tiny, teeny, weeny bit of a worry. And the only reason why I say that is because I see no reason for this horse to get beat. Cheap pieces for the first time could, if he flops and they just don't work for him or have a negative effect. The only reason I could possibly see this horse not going real close, but I don't see that happening. There's loads of pace on in here. It's going to be set up for him. I don't think he's going to be able to get himself into trouble in here. He's 5 to 1, as you saw in there. 4 places up for grabs, despite there only being 15 runners. It just feels like an absolute no-brainer to have a sizable each-way bet on him. So I have taken into consideration the fact that it is a 5 furlong handicap and that there are risks attached, but I couldn't believe he's a 5 to 1 poke in my eyes. Typical renewals for this race, yes, I can understand it, but this isn't typical. Not the same sort of race. I think he wins. I think he wins easy as well. I think that's the reason why the field is so small. I feel with Clarendon House pushing a load of them out, it's just all by design, and I think a few are dodging it, to be honest with you. So I'm happy with that, as you can probably tell. Let's move on to whatever this other one is. Okay, this picks up the first race and the third race. Weirdly, the way I've put the bets on, or basically not the way I put the bets on, the way I've cropped it, right? So Astral Bow goes in the fillies and mares race, was unlucky in this last year, right? Third, beaten 3/4 of a length. This is the one that has had exactly the same prep runs for the race. The race was on Good to Firm last year. Although Good to Firm wouldn't completely and utterly put me off her, a better form comes when there's a bit of dig in the ground, right? It's good to soft at the moment. There's a bit of rain about. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but form figures on with soft, like sort of good to soft or worse in the description, a 1-1-2, 1-1-3-2. This was on Good to Firm last year. She's better than that. There are a lot of horses in here where I can make holes with them, right? Sheet Columbine, the 3-year-old that comes in on adjusted ratings, £9 clear of anything. I don't believe the form of that listed win in France. The winners behind, or the runners in behind, have been pretty pants since. And as much as that was on heavy, right? As much as she enjoyed the heavy ground, there was lots that didn't. This isn't going to be heavy ground. I think a lot of horse for inconvenience. I don't think she's as good as Mark's in there. Running Line does best running fresh. Last run was quite good, but it did hang. This isn't Newmarket. This is Epsom. And Epsom, she was withdrawn in the Oaks because she was unruly at the start. And I think the occasion could get to her again. So it's a negative about her for sure. Sparks Fly wants it like a bog. That ain't going to happen. Breeze was behind Royal Dress. Winner was put up £15. So that's Royal Dress beating Novus. Now, there's a chance that house is as good as it's marked, but I don't believe it is. One first time up last season as well, one first time up here. So, yeah, I would happily let her go. And Breeze is half the price despite being beaten by Royal Dress. Yes, I know there's been a sort of a weight swing within there, but it doesn't matter in this particular context, does it? Because it's a group race. So, Breeze comes on for the first one, has to be like have a chance, but one win from 12 starts, not interested. This is 100% a target for Astral Bow. They're going to get redemption for last year. I can't believe she's 14-1. Yes, I have bet each way, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not even joking, I'd make her like a 4 or 5-1 poke. So look, if I'm having 50 quid on and I'm getting 470 back as the return, and I'd happily, I don't want to take less, but I'd take sort of 350 as a total return from a £50 outlay on the horse, is what I think the prices should sort of be. I'm not necessarily throwing away money by betting her each way. I think I'm getting some cover in there. And as I say, those form figures on good to soft or worse going, she's always in the first 3. It feels like a real safe bet. So again, I'm happy with that bet, to be honest with you. Mashardi's in the 3-year-old 5 furlong race. This is where Matty fancies Billy Webster makes a reasonable case. He's a 14-1 poke. I've had 12.50 each way on Mashardi, right? It's a race where I haven't done. I've done enough homework. I haven't done the point of watching back loads of the replays, right? They're not really a division I know too much about in terms of I don't watch all of those types of races. There's lots of races I do watch over and over again, but I don't have as much interest in that. So it's not as easy to spring off the top of my mind. I can remember what all these horses have done. This horse is a 7-race maiden, but he's a quirky sort. Loads and loads and loads of form of him coming second. Definitely a bit of a dodge pot, definitely a bit of a screwball. They dropped him back in trip now. He's been run over 6 furlongs 3 times this season, once over 7 furlongs. He wants 5 furlongs. That's all he ran over for Richard Hannon, and he was second every single time. As I say, clearly a bit of a rogue, but, you know, he's an each way-ish price, was covering the race, so wanted to bet. I'm not going to tip up a horse that I don't bet as well. What else have we got? Epictatus. Didn't even crop that one, did I? 1832. I've screenshotted this little beauty. So Epictatus in the Dion Stakes, right? I do quite fancy this horse. I've only had 12.50 each way, but I think the 8-1's right. I say I quite fancy this horse. Right? He's 8-1 top price, which I think's reasonable enough. There's cases to be made against, like falling against every horse in this race. So if I just go for what I like about Epictatus, that probably makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, he won near last season right on soft ground. He was 2-5 that they didn't win like a 2-5 shot, but this is the type of race where it's 1 mile, an extended 1 mile, half a furlong, where they're not really fast enough for a mile. They don't really stay 1 mile 2. But anywho, he's a Group 3 winner. When he won at Goodwood, they said it was because he dropped back to a mile. So this trip is probably where he's going to get a bit of winning from. The Good to Firm, he's won on Good to Firm, but he goes on all types of ground, right? You know, he had that soft win before. It was first run last time was after he was gelded. So he normally wins first time up or runs well first time up, but I'd forgive him that. A few of Gosden's this year that you would expect to have gone well first time up haven't. I know you've got to be a little bit forgiving in there, but I think he's a course winner. He's a Group 3 winner. He's a fair price at 8-1. So happy enough with him. I wouldn't be bullish. He's one of them, even if he was sort of, I don't know, 16-1, wouldn't be as confident as I am with like an Astral Bow on there from a pricing perspective. He's a bit bigger than he should be. He'd probably be a 5 or 6-1 poke. So bear that in mind if you're watching this a little bit later, and potentially he has been nibbled in the betting. Not too many races to cover on the weekend. Well, there's only 5 of them, so we can get on quickly with this. So Ancient Wisdom, when I talked about the trends list, this horse ticks every single one of them. He is the most likely winner on the trends perspective. I've had 25 quid win on him, right? I only get 20 quid on with Coral, so I've had 20 quid on there, and then I've had a little bit on the exchange as well. So I'll pull that up. Did I put that somewhere? No, that's me showboating from a Firefox win. Let me see if I can put it in. Maybe I just didn't click it. Maybe I had loaded. should be able to do this fairly quickly. So yeah, I've had 20 on him, and I've had another 5 on the exchanges because I could still get 6.4, I think it was. So basically 11 to 2. Thought that was a fair enough price. But you'll see that I've also backed City of Troy. Now, look, I get the City of Troy's tiny. I get that everyone's saying he might not train forward from a 2-year-old, but he is technically the best horse in the race. Mark or rating of 125 proves that. He's got to do it this time around, but he's very similar to August Rodin in terms of size, scope, and the fact that they redid it last year. I know he's got a bad draw in one, and there's lots of those trends things that you look at. He falters on so many of those, but sometimes just the good horses win the races, right? And I feel like if he had a few things in his favour, maybe like the draw wasn't there. I mean, Ryan Moore's still stuck for a minute, let's be honest. He shouldn't really be 4-1, should he? So he's one of those. Kate said it on the weekend, which is probably a fair way to play it. He's probably a win bet and then a place lay because he could just bomb out like he did in the 2000 Guineas. But I quite liked the horse before the 2000 Guineas. I was obviously bitterly disappointed with how he did, what he did, but it can be done, right? He can come back from that, and I just wanted to have a bit on him. So it is the Derby. Maybe it's a bit more sentimentally type bets, but I throw in 50 quid at the Derby. Yes, I bet the first and the third favourite. Potentially, I could have bet the first 2 in the betting, but give it a little bit of a squeak, to be honest with you. So that's where we're sat. Obviously, Silky Wilkie is the strongest bet. Astral Bow I do quite fancy as well. So there are a couple that are in there. If you are following me in, obviously do gamble responsibly, stake however you want to stake, whatever you feel comfortable with. Small races to go at in terms of what's on ITV. So maybe be a bit more select. There are lots of races from elsewhere as well, but I do think the class is at Epsom. Good luck if you are following me in. Good luck if you're going against me. Just good luck in general. Have a good weekend. And as I say, I'll post some dog stuff over the next couple of days because a few of you may be interested in that. Anyway, be lucky. Do like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe if you're not already. And who knows, drop a comment saying welcome back, Dave from the holiday. Catch you again very soon. Catch you again very soon. Goodbye.